Good morning and welcome, Patriot Radio News Hour. I'm Joe Jaquint, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group, and happy Tuesday. I hope it finds you well in a world. Listen, it's nuts out there. You don't know what to believe. Is it expansion? Is it recession? Do we need rate hikes? Do we need rate cuts? Are they buying the dollar, selling the dollar? Wars and oil and this and that. No avocados? I think we'd be okay. I'm just saying. Well, you know what? I don't like avocados, but people like avocados. But, I mean, this is what you get when everybody wants to make everything political. In other words, forget about what's the best for America. I don't like the president, so therefore I'm going to do something that, quite frankly, we shouldn't do. And then you get stuck with where we're at here today, the largest invasion ever. Right? The only thing different is instead of invading with weapons, right, they're invading with their hands out. That's really what we have. But enough about that. We got so many things to talk about. 800-951-0592. It is our toll-free number. The website at allamericangold.com. We had more data out today. We'll get to it. Listen, this is all about, in this show, and I tried to stay in my lane. Sometimes it's harder than others. But I try. We've been delivering what I like to call economics with attitude, right? We're coming up on a quarter of a century almost. I mean, we're getting to 25 years, closing in. It's a long, long time. Got to be doing something right. And you've been warned. You know what you need to do. Why you don't do it, I don't know. But I'm going to try to help you today. We're working on something. We're chasing something right now. I know I don't want to promise. I'm not promising. But if we come through, and I'm hopefully going to have it here before, right after the break. So by the time I come back on break, I'm hoping I have an answer. I may have, and this is going to be saying something, what I believe will be the greatest item ever. How's that for a teaser? The greatest item ever. I can't believe it. I don't know if it's true. Right? It's one of those ones where I don't want to. It's almost like, are you scamming me on this? So be ready. Just be ready. Metals program. The program has gotten much bigger. So Wendy yesterday at about noon had this look on her face because, we said, hey, listen, we're going to be done by today. And it's going to be real close. Wendy is, she is blown away because there's a lot of people in it. Listen, we need more. The deals in the metals program are out of sight. I don't care what level you did. $100 a month to $2,000 a month. Everybody got some gold in it, some great stuff in it. I'm offering, 10% bonus for every new sign-up. Right? You talk about you want to get involved, you want to support Patriot, you want to support KHNC. There you go. Here's a way to do it. Right? It's kind of like the chick from Archie Bunker. I don't know what that commercial has stuck with me. I'm trying to think about how long ago that had to be, and it's still, here I am. I'm going to be 49 years old here pretty soon, and I still, for less than a cup of coffee a day. And, of course, back then, think about it, right? Back then, a cup of coffee was like 25 or 35 cents. For less than a Starbucks a day. I mean, you can do more than a Starbucks a day, but for less than a Starbucks today, you get in on this metals plan, 10% bonus for any new sign-ups between now and the end of April at 800-951-0592. We had durable goods out today. We had General Motors, because they don't like to release monthly sales anymore. General Motors first quarter numbers were out on automobile sales. I'll give you an idea of where they were. The Dow was down. Does that give you an idea of how it goes? Yesterday, the Dow was up 300 points. I don't know why. Then again, the Dow is so overpriced right now, it's ridiculous. Get ready. I think next week, maybe the week after, earnings season starts to kick off. Now, we got the straggler, like Walgreens reported today. I don't know if you saw Walgreens. By the way, Walgreens stock getting hammered today. So Walgreens in December said to everybody, hey, you know what? Everything's great. This is good. We expect that we're going to have profits up 7 to 12% for 2019. Okay, that's what they said in December. Now, it's April now. It's only the second day of April. This morning, Walgreens said, you know what we said in December about that 7 to 12%? Yeah, forget that. We now estimate it'll be 0. No growth. And I think this is what we're going to see over and over and over again as all of these companies. Listen, all I do is look at the data. That's all I can do. That's all what I can base it upon. And it's incredible. We got economic advisors demanding 50-point basis cuts, and yet the bond market's totally inverted, and yet the Dow's been rallying. I know. It's crazy. You know what isn't crazy? When you get yourself some hard assets. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back after the break. 800-951-0592. You got to love all the new advertisers there on 1360. For you guys in Phoenix, you obviously get Phoenix's commercials, but just super proud of the job we've been doing up there. Had to be a record. Had to be a record for the amount of new advertisers coming on board in the first week, beginning of April. I'll say this, Brian McKnight, this is the new world we live in. So one of our advertisers, in order to make things work for his family, his wife Mary, his 2 kids, who, by the way, they were at the picnic, longtime customers of ours, just great family. And he's like, Joe, I've got my my landscaping business, and I got my side hustle, which he does. It's like a fishing expedition, and he's been running. I've been hearing this commercial now. Both of them, trout tamers and turf tamers, right? Turf tamers, the landscape side, but the trout tamers, I'm like, I want to go. Where do I sign up to go down 8 hours? Floating down the river, learning how to fly fish. Guys, I'll tell you this, and I know Brian personally, great family man, great loyal listener to 1360. Give that guy a call. You got a landscaping issue, give him a call. You want to go out and float down the river and learn how to fly fish, or maybe you already know. I don't know. Give him a call. You'll be glad you did. So we got a call. Right on schedule. It is confirmed. I will tell you that I know for a fact, never, ever, ever have we been able to do what we're going to do right now. Now, I always tell all of you, stay away from the graded coins. Say it all the time. And I don't care if it's like graded bullion, right, or the graded old gold. And what do I tell you, unless I'm selling it? Because when I sell it, you don't pay premiums. Remember I told the story about Barrett Jackson. Do you remember that? So I took my wife, my son, and his girlfriend. We went to Barrett Jackson. And we were walking around, and one of the displays was one of the gold companies you see on TV. Now, I'm not going to mention any names, but they got like the fake vault. Well, it looks like a real vault on TV, You know, the guy standing in front of it, yeah, it's cardboard. Because I saw it. I didn't know it was cardboard until I saw it, but that's it. They were there. And, of course, they talk about how cheap they are and buy gold at cost and blah, blah, blah. And they loved their slab bullion. And they were running Mid-State 70 Gold Eagles and Buffaloes, and they wanted $1,900 and something for it. So I came out on the air and sold them for $500 less. Today, we're going to do something even better than that. There are 100, and that's a lot, especially in this item, Mint State 64 $20 St. Gaudens. Okay, so Mint State 64. If you go out to our website, I don't even list Mint State 64s. I mean, we go up. I got 61s and 62s and 63s, and I have them up there, not because we sell a lot of them, but I have them up there so you know when some idiot is pitching you not to get ripped off, because that's my regular non-special prices on the 61s and 62s and 63s. I mean, Mid-State, when you get the 64s and 65s and 66s, they want $2,000 and $3,000 and $4,000 for them. Our regular price, you go out to our website, you can look for yourself, on a $20 Liberty or a $20 St. Gaudens is $1,410. Right, that's our price. You know, gold right now is gold's up $2.50, $3 here, $12.91, $12.92. You know, so our regular price, let's just call it about $120 over spot, which is just our regular price is a great price. Then you got VFs and XFs and AUs and BUs and Mid-State 60s, 61, 62, 63, 64. 9 grades. Some guy looks under it in a microscope. And by the way, just so you know, these are all going to be PCGS or NGC. You can't specify one or the other because I can't promise what I'm going to get. But if you say, hey, I want as many NGCs as possible, I'll do it. Or if you want as many PCGS as possible, I'll do my best. Mint State 64 Saints. Because the libs are, if you know anything about libs, when they get above 63, they start getting pricey. $5 less than our regular raw $20 Saint, $14.05. I know. Randy's looking at. Listen, I'm losing my mind. This is the best deal of all time. If you buy 10 or more, $1,400 on a Mint State 64 $20 St. Gaudens, PCGS or NGC graded. Absolutely ridiculous. I will guarantee you this. This is the lowest price ever in the history of Mint State 64s relative to where the spot price is. This is the lowest premium ever. And this is before Patriot was even around, because I asked them. I asked Heritage when they were offering them, and we had a great discussion about them. Mint State 64. Think about it. Would they consider Mint State 65 gem quality, especially in the old coins? Like, you know, I don't even know. There's no Mint State 70 anythings. I don't even know if there's a 69. There's a handful of 68s out there, and they go for millions of dollars. Then 67, 66s, they're around 65s. This is Mint State 64. And you're going to buy them for less than an ungraded raw St. Gaudens today. Our raw Saints are $14.10. Mint State 64s at $14.05. Buy 10 or more at $1,400. And I know it's tax time and this and that. Listen, Gold's going to be higher than that before the end of the year. You just watch and see. And you're going to have mid-state 64s. 800-951-0592. That is the toll-free number. We had durable goods came out today. And, well, like most of the actual data, it missed. Durable goods down 1.6% in the month of February. All the numbers inside of it were negative. Boeing was really negative. But, of course, we always strip Boeing's number out of it, but down 1.6%. The Fed likes to, hey, we don't like to count everything, but even the stuff that they like to count, down, which was that business spending. As a matter of fact, it was the third month out of four that the Fed, I guess, they have this, the favorite part of their index in the durable goods, and it was down for the third month out of the last four. So all of this talk about great spending by businesses at least hasn't happened yet. Durable goods order tumbled 1.6%. They also revised January down to just up 0.1%. So the first 2 months of 2019, durable goods down 1.5%. Significant decrease in orders for transportation equipment. Orders for non-defense aircraft and parts nosedived by 31%. Of course, that was the Boeing part. They take that out. Steep drop in orders exclude that. Durable goods orders were flat on the month. They said transportation orders was expected to rise 0.2. Notable increase in order for electrical equipment, offset by a decrease in orders for machinery, computers, and electronic. What was that? Wait a minute. Electronic products. So apparently we ordered more electrical equipment. We just didn't order more electronic products. You figure it out. Commerce Department said that the closely watched indicator of business spending edged down in the month of February. And again, and I said that already, they said it's the third month out of the last four that business spending edged down. And then, we had Manhattan real estate numbers out, fell for the sixth straight quarter in a row, the longest losing streak in 30 years. And that's saying something. How's that? It wasn't worse during the housing crash? And again, you got to believe what they say because it's on the internet, so it has to be true. But they said it is the worst 6 quarters in Manhattan real estate in the last 30 years. If you bought the Lyft IPO, you may wish you hadn't. I don't know how this stuff works. But Lyft, we drive around drunk people. They had their IPO the other day. And I think it priced out at $75 a share, something like that. Either 75, maybe it was 72. I apologize for not having the exact number, but it was in the 70s. No, it just came out today. And I just laughed because they, Seaport Global, they're the first company to come out with a prediction, put the price target on Lyft at $42. Whoops. Yeah. I got an idea. Let's price it at $72, even though it's only worth $4. Sounds about right. Listen, that sounds about right to me. Why not? And then I saw this one. So yesterday, we were talking about how Larry Kudlow wants the 50 basis point rate cut. And yet they say everything's great. I want to point out something, and this is on our website today as well. Just like we witnessed leading up to the last recession. And there are a lot of similarities, aren't there? Right? I mean, housing prices are ridiculous. Car prices are out of the... Wait till I get to what General Motors said today. It almost blows my mind. Just like we witnessed during the last recession. Major retailers laid off tens of thousands of workers. Of course, that's not really showing up in the jobs because most retail workers, let's face it, you got 2 or 3 of those jobs. And it looks like this is going to be the worst year for store closings in all of U.S. history. I mean, I get it, right? Amazon definitely hasn't helped this situation, but is this a surprise? Right? You drive down every intersection, it's the same stores, overstored. Now they're saying 2019 is going to be the worst year in U.S. history. Many referring to this as the retail apocalypse. After all, if retailers are struggling this much now, how bad will things get as the economy slows down and, heaven forbid, actually goes into a recession? According to Challenger, Gray, and Christmas, and remember, these other guys, this is what they do. They track this stuff. Layoffs at retail stores up 92% year over year. Patriot Radio News Hour. Yeah, those MS-64 states starting to look real good, aren't they?
This is the Phyllis Schlafly Report, a daily commentary continuing the conservative pro-family legacy of Phyllis Schlafly. Now, the president of Phyllis Schlafly Eagles, Ed Martin.
The Democrat governor of Virginia, Ralph Northam, set off a political inferno by expressing his desire for doctors to facilitate infanticide by allowing mothers to choose to let their babies die after being born alive. Northam pretended that when we talk about third trimester abortions, it's done in cases where there may be severe deformities. However, Northam's cover is nothing more than a sham. In reality, severe deformity counts for a very small fraction of late-term abortions. This truth is confirmed by the Guttmacher Institute, which is a spin-off of Planned Parenthood. The Washington Post let the cat out of the bag, too. They said the uproar over Northam's comments has disrupted carefully laid plans to bolster abortion rights across the nation after President Trump elevated Brett Kavanaugh to the Supreme Court. In other words, the tide of pro-abortion legislation in New York, Virginia, and several other states didn't just happen by chance. It was part of a national campaign by the abortion industry to push state laws that would maintain access to the procedure if the national protections are knocked down by the Supreme Court. The Washington Post article continues. More concerning to abortion rights advocates, the abortion debate is now fixed on the least popular aspect of the measure in Virginia and elsewhere. That's infanticide. The real mystery is why the abortion industry chose to push measures that would loosen restrictions on late-term abortions, which we're told are so very rare. Actually, they're not that rare. Guttmacher estimates over 10,000 a year, which is about the same as the number of people shot to death each year. Remember, a late-term abortion, by definition, is performed after the point at which the unborn child can survive outside the womb with appropriate care. Late-term abortions are typically done by injecting a poison intended to cause cardiac arrest, which results in what they call fetal demise before the baby's delivered. But sometimes that lethal injection fails, and the baby's delivered alive. That's where Governor Northam's cruel position kicks in. Don't let the left cover up the barbarity of their positions on abortion. The thousands of babies murdered every year are counting on us to stand up for the truth.
This has been the Phyllis Schlafly Report from Phyllis Schlafly Eagles. In 2016, the conservative movement lost one of our strongest leaders, but Mrs. Schlafly's work and her voice continue through this radio program, our work in Washington, and the influence you have in your own community. Be part of that legacy at phyllisschlafly.com. We encourage you to bookmark phyllisschlafly.com and join us again for the Phyllis Schlafly Report.
800-951-0592. I'll be honest. I just told you this is the best item we've ever sold. Ever. And we sold a lot of good ones. And you think about the price, $1,405 for an MS-64 Saint. If you buy 10 or more, $1,400. I'll put it this way. If we don't sell out of them, you'll hear this show tomorrow, because that's how stupid of a price. No, I can't do any better. And I don't care. I can say, you know what? Yesterday we sold those ungraded Saints on sale, right? Yesterday. This is way better. Matter of fact, any of you that bought the ungraded Saints yesterday want to upgrade to the graded ones, I'll let you do it. That's how good of a deal it is. 800-951-0592. General Motors. It's wow. That's all I can say. Wow. They said that first quarter sales fell 7% from a year ago. And, okay, that sounds in line, right? Okay, yeah, 7%. That's about right. You know, that's kind of, in my mind anyway, that's what I'm seeing. That looks right. But it was what they said about the cars they did sell that blew me away. They said that sales fell 7% from a year ago, but said buyers are flocking to its sport utility and pickup trucks. And, of course, how can you be flocking when they're down 7%? But what they meant to say was the really rich people dig in it. According to General Motors, their newest pickup trucks, the average transaction price up $8,040 year over year. $8,040 year over year compared with the same models in the same quarter of 2018. So think about that. From 2018, first quarter of 2018, first quarter of 2019, General said, hey, yeah, we sold less, 7% less. But the ones we did sell, man, they were equipped to the hilt. Action from buyers for the well-equipped trucks. 96% of the GM Sierra Crew Cab pickup, four-door, full-size truck, sold with the most expensive high-end trims. Now, well, the funny part was I looked all through the little press release. They didn't give the price. But I'm going to guess that they're probably, $60,000, $70,000 trucks. You know, because these are, I guess, the ones that they're selling, they got all the bells and whistles on it. But that was General Motors today saying, hey, listen, we're getting out of the crappy car business, right? We're getting out of the low-end truck business. We don't want those poor people. Right? Hey, we're doing just fine making the really, really expensive stuff. So anyway, General Motors has got more plans to launch more high-end SUVs as they continue to get out of the less profitable car markets. They didn't break down, I will say this, they didn't break down fleet sales and retail sales. So, I'm not sure how that broke down, but the average ticket at General Motors up $8,000 in a single year. Don't worry, though. According to the Federal Reserve, now here's the best part. According to the Federal Reserve, car prices went down last year. Matter of fact, according to the Federal Reserve, automobile car sales or prices are down for the last 2 years in a row. Of course, that's how they do math at the central bank. Not to be outdone, by the way, Americans will pay a record amount of interest on credit cards this year. Up 50% from 5 years ago. Now, part of that is, right, more and more of us got credit card debt, plus the Fed raising rates, right, and everybody having to pay more interest. And, of course, we did the story, 37 million people late on their credit cards. With the economy booming, so too are America's credit card debts. This is always one of those ones where they say it's good news, right? They like, oh, yeah, they take on more debt because they're confident. Really? I don't think that way. Hey, I'm really confident. Go ahead and rack up the credit card debt. I mean, most people rack up the credit card debt because one of two things. Right, hey, I don't have enough money and I'm using my credit card to get by. Or, hey, I've been working really hard and I want to go on a vacation. I can't actually afford it, but I'll put it on my credit card. Right? I mean, normally most people use their credit card for things they really can't afford. Why do they consider that good news? I don't know, but they do. They said that Americans paid banks $113 billion in credit card interest during 2018. That was up 12%, by the way, from 2017, and up roughly 50% in the last 5 years. Wow. One big reason 10 years after the financial crisis, here you go, here's the spin. Americans finally feel confident enough to borrow more. Total credit card debt recently reached a new record high. Borrowers are also paying more than on what they borrowed as banks pass on the Federal Reserve rate hikes. Of course, they don't do that in your savings account, but hey, who cares? They said even without any additional rate hikes. Okay, so think about this. No rate hike at all. Americans are going to spend, now remember, what was the number? $113 billion. Without any rate hikes, Americans are going to spend $122 billion in credit card interest in 2019. Yeah, it's good to be a bank sometimes, isn't it? Patriot Radio News Hour. Pick up those 64s before they're gone. We'll be back after the break. Now we're going. Got two lines open. Mint State 64 Saints. It's a deal of a lifetime. I didn't actually believe it. I thought I got fake news. I had Wendy call because so we deal, and I've told you this a million times, the largest gold wholesaler in the entire world. Right? Wendy calls up. This is how long we've been doing business with them. Wendy calls up and this is what she says. Hi, it's me. That's what she says. Hi, it's me. Right? And they know who me is. And we normally, we sell slab coins here and there, right? And as I say, I always tell you, only buy slab gold from us. Because when we sell it like it's not even been slabbed. And I saw the price today on this Mint State 64. And I said to Wendy, oh, they made a mistake. And in my mind, and I even told Wendy, I said, they missed it. They fat fingered. That's off at least $100. It's exactly what I told her. I said, it's off at least $100. And I didn't really know. I don't really keep track of Mint States. And I said to her, it may even be 200, right? And I was trying to look at, like, the keyboard to see the mistake. And so I said, call them. Because if it's really real, we're going to do something incredible. And sure enough, they got back to us and said, nope, that's the price. We started with 100. During the break, we were down to 73. Mint State 64 PCGS NGC graded 1 through 9 at $14.05. That puts it $5 less than our cheap ungraded ones, which you know they're fantastic. If you buy 10 or more at $1,400. 800-951-0592. Wendy just got through it, so all lines are open. Get in there, get it done. Listen, believe me when I tell you, and we've ran a lot of great items, especially in the last year. This is the best one yet. We've never seen anything like this before. And I will tell you, I didn't even know it was happening. According to satellite data that was just released by Reuters, at least 1 million acres of U.S. farmland was covered by water for more than a week in the month of March. Now, this story is a few days old, and I was saving it. And I will say this, I missed it. Think back to when Colorado, remember Colorado, you guys were getting hammered by that, going to be the worst blizzard of all time, and really kind of turned out to be kind of a non-event for Colorado? That storm, it was an event for the Midwest, apparently. And I didn't see it. This is an agriculture disaster without equal in modern American history. So I guess they're saying, hey, we're not going all the way back to the Dust Bowl. But since then, this is the worst one yet. Mainstream media is treating it like it's some sort of second-class story. And again, normally I'd be all over this thing, and I just missed it. This is the biggest news story of 2019 so far, and people want to know what's going on. I'll say this, man. The farmers taking it on the chin the last year and a half, haven't they? A few days ago, and by the way, Michael Snyder is the guy that's writing this. For those of you that do the Economics Collapse blog, I know a lot of our customers pay attention to that blog. He wrote a story. As many as 1 million calves lost in Nebraska. Right? Not like lost, like they're out there, I just got to find them. No, like they're dead. Beef prices are going to escalate dramatically. Man, I mean, hamburger's almost $5 already. I'm just going to say this. Load up your freezer now, I guess. By the way, they're saying more flooding on the wave in the next 2 months. I don't know how they know that, but they say that is what's going to happen. They said this time of year, farmers gearing up to plant wheat, corn, and soybean. Now a substantial portion of farmland will not be used at all this year. They said at least 1 million acres. Wow, that's a lot. Flooded after the bomb cyclone, right? They always got to give it a name. The bomb cyclone. I knew it would be in there. So they said 1 million calves were dead. Get ready for a huge escalation in the price of beef. Iowa farmers facing some very tough deadlines as well. Corn maybe late to be planted. They said $3 billion in economic damage, and I just wanted to bring that up. Hey, get those freezer stocked. Maybe, I don't know, maybe give Brian McKnight a call, catch some fish, because it's going to be, apparently it's going to be a whole lot cheaper than beef prices are going to be. But don't worry. They'll just tell you that there's no inflation no matter what happens. When we get back, we're going to talk about bond downgrades. And maybe this is the reason Larry Kudlow said we need to have a 50% rate hike. In the break, Mint State 64 $20 Saints 1 through 9 at 14.05, 10 or more at 1,400. You're going up 9 grades. 800-951-0592. Sorry about that break. Listen, we're working really hard. Jason's doing all he can. We got this great new board. Apparently, we don't know how to use it yet, but we're getting there. We're getting there. Don't know what you heard, didn't hear. Mint State 64 $20 Saints. 14.05, 1 through 9, 10 or more, 1,400. Right now, we got 3 lines are open. 3 lines are open. If you're on hold, just wait. We'll get to you in the order you called. I know this. We had 100, and now we're and I don't know what's happening here on the phone right now, but we've sold about 40% of it already. So take your time, put them away. This is a deal to end all deals, but this is, we've done 61s for less, 62s for less. I think once we did 63s, and it may have been like $5 or $10 more. Never, ever, ever have we run a Mint State 64 for less than an ungraded 20. It's mind-blowing. 800-951-0592. Here's another thing. I don't know what to tell you. Right, I sit there, and we have this huge disconnect between Wall Street and the real economy. Here's another paradox for traders to digest. In a quarter where virtually every asset class posted positive returns. Think about this. Wall Street's like, hey, it's the best quarter and I don't know, half a century. The lowest BBB rated investment grade bonds. Okay, so here we are. These aren't your tier 1 type bonds, but they're not your tier 3s. They're still these are like your tier 2s that are going to be tier 3s if things don't get better. A wave of downgrades that they're calling a fallen angel tsunami soared to the best first quarter performance since 1995. According to Bloomberg, BBB rated debt returned 5.8%. So this is what happens. And bonds work the other way. When bond yields fall, if you have bonds, you make more money, right? Especially when you got those bonds that they're downgrading to fail. And the breathtaking move continued on April 1st, benefiting from the riskiest names in the junk bond market. The breadth is spectacular, they said, of the 480 basis point move in the Bloomberg Barclays U.S. High Yield Index. Right, these are one of the boxes on your 401ks. 89% are tighter on the day. In other words, these yields are really starting to get very, very interesting. We'll have to see about the downgrades, right? How many of these now, what we call the BBBs, are going to fall into junk, right? So the lowest graded investment bonds, they haven't been downgraded yet, but it looks like a tsunami could be coming. Patriot Radio News Hour. Pick up those 64s until they're gone. We'll be back after, I guess tomorrow. Take care. Wow, that show went by quick.